thank you so much, Jason, for taking out your precious time and for
My pleasure.
this. Yeah. So I
Sure.
just have a couple of questions for you. So maybe we can start off by you introducing yourself and telling us about your company and like how did you found out about us. So
Sure. Well, my name is Jason. My full name is Jason Lorenti. I'm the lead developer for .NET and jQuery powered marketing systems. I work for two companies, actually. I work for Mark Spring's other commerce company called Copylight and Evolved Office. We're both companies in the imaging technology industry. Obviously, Evolved Office is the marketing aspect of that industry, and Copylight is the commerce with the parts and supplies for copiers, printers, and such. So I work both on building and expanding the marketing platform. I'm also in charge of all the API integrations to everything that we combine with CRM, such as Salesforce and Compass Sales Solutions, which is for like machine leasing and such. And I also work on maintaining the commerce websites for both the wholesale and retail divisions of Copylight. I am basically a mathematics and physics major by degree, but programmer by trade. I taught myself .NET while starting with Copylight many moons ago, around about 2009, 2010, working as a contractor. And then I taught myself SQL databases and the .NET language, starting from basically classic ASP environment and just regular scripting language to compiled languages. I have experience in C++ and my college experience programming in C, regular C. And I have a background in Pascal and EdScheme, which is a derivative of Lisp, but that goes way back to my high school and middle school years. But going forward, my current responsibilities are project manager and developer of primary marketing tools. Everything with automation, integration, intelligent marketing, which means knowing the customer, being able to examine buying patterns and statistical analysis of what they buy the most, what they're most interested in, and providing dynamic HTML content that best matches their interests to deliver the products that they buy or close upsells to what they would buy. That's more for the commerce side. For the marketing side, my goal is to further develop campaign automation for article and product content for things like journeys, which is basically campaign automation drip. And that's one of the projects I'm working on currently with another team. They've finished their UI portion, so I'm working on the service backend, which is basically taking all of the automation settings for what goes out when, time delays between a first email and a second follow-up email, logical if-then decision-making on whether to send a follow-up or an objection handling email, adding or removing tags, regulating subscription management. All this will be done with services that I'm currently building now. In addition to that, I'm also developing some internal automation for one-to-many, which means that one marketing manager can send out a broadcast to a master list and have it automatically divide up the list among all of the reps based on tagging, and loop through and send out all the personalized footer-based emails from each rep to each subset of the list automatically. So one manager can actually send out multiple broadcasts in one shot rather than going to every rep account and doing this in our platform one by one. So those are the two big projects I have in the next couple of months. So by the end of August, we should have both journeys and one-to-many finished. That is my goal. And of course, in addition to the projects I'm working with your team and other teams as well. So we have a lot of things on the fire right now for Evolved and all of its integrations. Salesforce being a bigger and bigger component of that, especially with all the things that you guys are working on, which I must say, you have done a fantastic job for a first project. Can I start by saying some positive things?
Sure, please.
I'm just free forming this. I have no script, so one thing I really admire about your company, and I noticed this first. I found your company just from an Upwork search, by the way. There was nobody that referred you. I found your credentials to be outstanding, and then to support that further, after starting a first project, I noticed that not only are you easy to communicate with and you respond quickly and you're always available, you are a quick study. So in other words, your team is able to take a project that might have been, in this case, started by someone else or based on code that someone else wrote, and able to analyze it quickly and understand the requirements without any assistance from the previous developer. That to me is a very important very important skill, because that programmer may not always be available. And in this case, you took that and you just jumped right into it, and your team was able to analyze requirements, understand what needed to be done. You got it done. We were able to come up with a smooth system of testing in development and production orgs, and we are now finished with that project thanks to you in a very timely manner. Now I have delivered that already to the customer, and I'm sure they will be pleased. So so communication, flexibility, quick to understand requirements, and quick to implement said requirements. So all of that is a big plus, and also, not to mention that your team is extremely pleasant to talk with, very easy to speak and understand. You speak English very well. It's very easy to just have a regular conversation as if I was talking to someone as one of my own colleagues, So very, very wonderful to meet you, and I'm glad you got to meet our president, Mark Spring, who's also very excited about this new partnership. And you also are going to be using the same tool we use for task management, Asana, which is great to know that you already understand that, because we use that a lot. So it seems like I already see that there's a synergy between our companies that's going to carry us into a lot of great projects now and in the future. So I see us doing business for a long time, potentially. We're very busy. We have a lot of things we want to expand in the Salesforce universe. So I can see a lot of new things happening. I'm glad that you're on board. Very, very excited.
Thank you so much, Jason, for those words. It was great pleasure working with you.
Sure. Happy to do it. That's one of the things I love about my job. When I'm passionate about it, not only now that I know I have a team I can count on to help me with things that are not in my wheelhouse directly. I'm not a Salesforce developer, but being a .NET developer, knowing that I can integrate my API to a Salesforce environment, and with the help of your team to develop the connection tools and the internal tools for creating, let's say, reports, dashboards, and other dynamic things that we want to do. It's great to have a solid team on our side. So all great things.
Thank you so much for those great words, Jason. We mean a lot.
Sure. Sure.
Like, any specific review would you have for our team? Like, you had a talk with our developers and everyone else as well. So any specific review, like what you liked, or if any errors is there that you would like us to improve on. So that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, right now I don't have any really negative points. There's nothing that's come up. Anything that I had a question about, it was answered right away. And if there was anything that was an issue, it was dealt with right away. I mean, but I don't really even have much specifically to go on, because everything I tested that you produced so far has worked. So not yet. I mean, but if there is, I'm sure that I can count on you to solve promptly. So I'm not concerned in the least at all. So at this point, everything has gone smoothly. There hasn't been anything. I have no negative review or no negative comments. Everything has been positive so far, so which is good. And it's not always the case. I've worked with a lot of people where they don't. I have to explain things more than once, and I have to clarify. I like to think that I explain things pretty clearly from the beginning and try to make sure you understand everything from the top to bottom of what I need, and all of the minutia as well. An overview as well as the rigorous inner points of a project. So knowing that you can understand the general as well as the particular is a big plus for me. So it makes my job so much easier too, because then I can move on to other things, knowing full well that at the same time you're working on something that we can come together on, and we'll have a positive result. So, and then if you have to join something that I built with something that you built, I'm sure that's an easy transition. But it all starts with the communication, and so far you guys are 5 stars out of 5 in my book, and that comes from, I'd say, about 14 years of programming experience now. Because I kind of started in 2007 doing basic, websites and forms, and then in 2009, like I said, I jumped on board with Copilot. I worked with Evolved Office in its earlier incarnations. There was like 2 or 3 incarnations before the platform that you see now. When we were just a magazine company doing syndicated publications with custom covers, and then we produced a very basic site that really only was a brochure site. Then we did just newsletter broadcasts, basic. Then we added all the other things, e-shots, videos, and other components. And now we're going to be we have social media, we'll be adding journeys and automation. So hopefully your team can kind of grow with us as we build new things and have new requirements. You can build new tools to help us grow on that long journey to becoming basically a platform that's everything marketing for all different facets of the marketing universe. And now, of course, social media being the newest component of that, and the next thing is automating all of that. So,
sure, Jason. Thank you so much for those words. Like, we
Sure.
really looking forward to growing this engagement.
Yeah.
So, just the last question of mine. Like, would you
Sure.
guide us to any other organization or your colleagues of yours? Like, would you refer us to them?
I would recommend you, yes. If someone is in need of a development team that has solid Salesforce, you would be the first team that I would now recommend. And I've worked with at least 2 teams before you, and you would be the first on my list. Even though you're the most recent I've worked with, you would be my first recommendation. Yes, absolutely, without doubt, unequivocally.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you giving us this time from your busy schedule.
Sure, my pleasure.
Yeah. So,